We're going to read this verse together. Hebrews 11, verse 6. We'll read it 1, 2, ready to read. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Amen. Let's go over to Mark chapter 2. We're going to look at verses 1 through 12. Now say amen. Keep this away from you and you want us to wait for say hold on. We're going to read that in the KJV as well. We'll read that together, verses 1 through 12 of Mark chapter 2. And we'll begin 1, 2, ready, read. And again he entered into Capernaum after some days, and it was noise that he was in the house. And straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them, no, not so much as about the door. And he preached the word unto them. And they came unto him, bringing one sick of the palsy, which was born of 4. And when they did not come nigh unto him for the press, they uncovered the roof where he was. And when they had broken it up, they let down the bed wherein the sick of the palsy lay. And when Jesus saw their faith, he said unto the sick of the palsy, Son, thy sins be forgiven thee. But there were certain of the scribes sitting there and reasoning in their hearts, Why doth this man thus speak blasphemies? Who can forgive sins but God only? And immediately, when Jesus perceived in his spirit that they so reasoned within themselves, he said unto them, Why reason ye these things in your hearts? Whether is it easier to say to the sick of palsy, Thy sons be forgiven thee, sins be forgiven thee, or to say, Arise and take up thy bed and walk? But that ye may know that the Son of Man hath power on earth to forgive sins, he saith to the sick of the palsy, I say unto thee, Arise and take up thy bed and go thy way into thine house. And immediately he arose, took up the bed, and went forth before them all, insomuch that they were all amazed, and glorified God, saying, We never saw it on this fashion. Father God, we thank you and we praise you for this day. We thank you for your love, your grace, and your mercy. Have your way in this place like only you can. In the name of Jesus, hiding behind the cross. Let nothing be said or done that is not pleasing unto you. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight. Lord, you are my strength and you are my redeemer. In Jesus' name, amen. You may be seated. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. But without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God, so that's what we're talking about, must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. There's a whole lot within that scripture. But without faith, so you gotta have some faith. All right. It is impossible to please him. Without faith, without hope, without belief, it's impossible. If somebody say, I want to please the Lord, do you believe him? Yeah, I believe in God, but do you believe about the situation? Well, I don't know. Well, you don't please him.
That's right. Amen.
I think he can do this, this, and the other, but I'm not sure if he could do that. So he's talking to us today. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is. Pause. All those little commas in that verse says, think about it.
All right.
If you come to him, you have to believe that he is.
Yes.
Because some people come to him in prayer and supplication and praise and worship, but don't really believe that he is who they need him to be.
That's right.
And don't believe that he can do what they need him to do. They kind of come to him out of form and fashion, like, all right, I've exhausted all things, so I'm gonna try Jesus and see what he does. See what he throw up on the wall. That's how some of us can be. But it says it's not like before you even come, make your mind up what you believe. And that he is a rewarder of them that diligently saying that you may not find him the first time you go and seek him. Which means you may not find him the second time you go looking for him. Which means the answer may not come in the first year. The answer may not come in the second year. The answer may not come in the third year. You must diligently seek him. You're looking for him. All right. That's a good foundation of scripture for where we are going here in Mark 2, 1 through 12. And again, he entered into Capernaum. We're going to walk through this really quickly. Again, he entered into Capernaum because Jesus is Jesus of Nazareth, correct?
Amen.
Lived in Nazareth where he was born. They had a birth certificate for him where it said Nazareth, even though he had traveled a few places before he got to Nazareth. But they would have said on his birth certificate, we going to say Nazareth is his place of birth. Actually, we know that he went over into Bethlehem and he was born in the stable in Bethlehem, and then he spent some time in Egypt. And it's in your Bible. You don't know Jesus was in Egypt. Jesus was in Egypt too. He was, with his mom and dad just kind of traveling all around because he had to get around and get away from some people that were trying to go and attack him and wanted to take his life. So if you go back and you look at the history of Jesus, he had traveled all around before he ended up and landed back in Nazareth.
Yes.
Okay. So it's going to say that he was born and raised in Nazareth by a carpenter, and so carpentry was his actual, his way of earning a living. But it says, and he entered into Capernaum after some days. If you go over into Matthew, I believe it's chapter 4, verse 13, you will find that it says that Jesus moved from Nazareth to Capernaum. So he got up. I ain't gonna live here no more. I gotta stretch myself a little bit. I want to move into a new city. And he moved into Capernaum. And that's why, and he entered again into Capernaum after some time. He had gone away. He may have been preaching and teaching, doing some different things like that, having some conventions, going to have meeting some family, visiting, and all of that little stuff. But he actually lived in Capernaum. And so it was noise that he had come back home. So he had come back home, and he's walking through the city because they didn't have cars, they did have camels and things of that nature. But I imagine Jesus was walking through the city, and he was getting back home, and people say, "Yo, Jesus is back home. Jesus has come back home. Oh my goodness, Jesus is at home." Now you heard what he was doing over in this place, and you know what he was doing over in that place, and you know how he rescued those people over there, and you know how he delivered that lady and her mother over there, and you know how he's been healing, and we've been hearing all these stories about what Jesus was doing, and now he's back home. So the people are excited that Jesus has come back home. And I don't know about you, I've been traveling and doing some things like that. When I come back home, the last thing I'm really trying to do is any type of entertaining of any sort. I'm trying to, get my clothes unpacked. I'm trying to get settled in, checking with my family and see what's going on and trying to see what's going on. But immediately, as soon as Jesus stepped foot back into a Capernaum, the people would spread wildfire. They didn't have text messaging. They didn't have instant messaging. Jesus didn't have Snapchat. He didn't have Facebook. He didn't have Twitter. He didn't have any of those technology methods that we have. They just word of mouth. Jesus is here. Jesus is here. Oh my goodness, Jesus is here. Jesus is here. We going to his house. You going to his house? Girl, I'm going to his house. Boy, I'm going to his house. I want to see what Jesus is going to talk about today. I want to see what Jesus is going to do today. So they met him at his house. And your verse in your Bible says, and straightway many were gathered together, insomuch that there was no room to receive them. So Jesus got home, and he's like, all right, well, come on then. And they all come into Jesus' house, and they start stuffing the house in and out. Imagine that this was Jesus' house. Oh, Jesus' house was much smaller, but imagine that this was Jesus' house, and they came in the house because they wanted to see what Jesus was going to throw up on the wall. They wanted to see what Jesus was going to do. They wanted to hear what Jesus was going to talk about, what had been going on, and what his plans were, and how he's been living, and what's been, just kind of going on. And so all the people came in, and they stuffed the house. The house was packed. You can say that many of the temples, just like us, came and stuffed the church. The church was stuffed. All the way to when Jesus was, you'll say here, but he may have been in the center of the house, but he's just standing there and he's talking, and people are all around him. And some people are kind of bunched up, and they shoulder to shoulder. You got somebody like in here on this side because you got shoulder to shoulder, and they kind of like, it's a little tight, so I'm going to sit to the side, and I'm going to look and see Jesus was talking about. I'm going to see what he's going to put up on the wall. I'm going to see what he's going to say. I want to see what he's going to do.
Yes.
And that's the scenery at Jesus' house.
All right.
And there's people at the door, but they all bunched into the door, just hoping to hear him. They may not be able to see him because I imagine there are many shapes and sizes and heights
and widths and breadths of people. So some people can't see him, but be quiet, man, I'm trying to hear what he got to say.
All right.
And they leaning in just to hear what Jesus has to say.
Yes.
And so they go in and Jesus is preaching. Your Bible, my Bible says that Jesus is teaching them. There was no room to receive it, and he preached the word unto them. Verse 3 then has something strange go on, and it says, and they come unto him bringing one sick of palsy, which was born of four. So they have this individual, this man, that is sick. Your Bible in other translations calls him a paraplegic.
All right.
And he's a paraplegic and he's laying down. He's not a paraplegic as we know of many of them today. If they can get in a wheelchair that will help move them and make them mobile, then they can kind of get around by themselves. For some of them, if they have the activity of their hands, and some of the technology has even they can use their mouth and they can move their chair and things like that. This is back in Jesus' day, so they didn't have a wheelchair. So this man had been laying in this bed. And he had been laying in this bed for a long time, y'all. He had been laying in his situation for a very, 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 very long time. He's a grown man laying in the bed. And he heard the news had spread all around. So it wasn't just Jesus' neighbors. It wasn't just on his street. It just wasn't in his neighborhood. But it had began to spread all around that Jesus was home. And we want to see what he's going to do today. We want to see what he's going to talk about today. And it got all the way to the man's house who was paraplegic. It got all the way to the man's house who was born, and he had been at some point had walked around. At some point he had the activity of his limbs. At some point he was doing some other things. But today he was sick of palsy and he was paralyzed. And he was in his house, and somebody, some way, somehow it got into his house. Jesus is here. Now, I imagine your Bible doesn't say, but just walk through the breadth of what's going on. As soon as people hear that Jesus is there, then they immediately come. And so I imagine his neighbors showed up, being Jesus' neighbors. I imagine the people next door, over the next door, showed up. So this man had been some ways away. Because when he showed up, the house is completely jam-packed. People, if there's any windows, people on the inside of the window, and your Bible talks about their houses having windows, because if you remember in the New Testament, Paul was preaching so long that somebody fell out the window and they thought he was dead. So I'm going to say, take that brevity and say Jesus' house may have had a window or two, and people kind of hanging out the window, just either hanging out or hanging in the window just to get an ear shot of what Jesus is talking about. So this man and his four friends that he was born of four, meaning that each person picked up one end of his bed, lifted him up, and began to walk him to where Jesus was going to be. Begin to walk him to Jesus' house. Now, it doesn't say how far he came, but I imagine he wasn't next door, is my point.
All right.
Which means they had to walk with him quite some time. And my husband and I, our youngest child is 6 years old. She's 6 years old, and she weighs about 40 pounds at least, and she's solid. And so when she goes to sleep, as she does many times in our bed, we still working on that, and we want to get her up out of our bed, my husband or I will have to go and brace ourselves to pick her up. We got to pick her up because it's almost like dead weight carrying her. That 40 pounds, it seems like it's about 80 to 100 pounds because she's not helping us carry her. She's not sitting. It's different when she's awake and she's sitting up and we lift her up and we carry her around and we may swing her. It's different weight when she has activity of her limbs. It's a different weight when she's conscious of her movement. It's a different type of weight when she's up and she's moving about, and she can choose to walk around if she wants to, but she's choosing not to because she done fell asleep in our bed, so we have to pick her up. Imagine, if you will, this is a grown man, which is meaning he's bigger than a baby, but he's smaller than a giant, okay? And he doesn't have the activity of his limbs. He is dead weight, y'all. He's dead weight. He's burdened down with depression. He's burdened down with sickness. He's burdened down with oppression. He's burdened down going through situations and circumstances, and he can't anywise move himself, which means over time that somebody else had to move him. Over time, somebody else had to wash him. debilitated. I'm not going to be addicted to anything but Jesus. Come this time next year, all my bills going to be paid. I ain't going to owe no man nothing but love. Come this time next year, I'm going to be able to reconcile some relationships that need to be reconciled. You know, I'm in your house. Come this time next year, there's some things I'm going to be able to do that I wasn't able to do because of this here bed. Because of where I found myself. And so his friends are there. They're able to move about. They see him. And they say, man, we got to figure out what to do. Because I've been with you a long time. And I continue to find you in this state. I've been with you a long time and I continue to find you going through this situation. But man, hey, we're going to stick together because I know that there's greater in you. We're going to stick together and I'm going to pray for you because I know there's something that God wants to do through you. We're going to stick together because I know that some way, somehow, you've been surviving in this situation. I know that God can do something. And man, guess what? Man, Jesus is in the house.
All right.
What? And the friends are, man, Jesus is in the house. Man, you ready to be healed? Man, are you ready to be delivered? And he shaking his head. I'm ready to be healed. I'm ready to be delivered. Can you take me to Jesus? What does that say to us? Sometimes we can be talking to our loved ones and we can be toiling with our loved ones and we can be toiling even with our friends. Hallelujah. And we can be trying to tell them you can do better. They just laying there. Looking like they don't want to do nothing. Laying there in the middle of the situation, swirling back and forth in the middle of a mess. And you got to go bail them out yet again. You got to go clean up the situation yet again. You got to go fix the problem yet again. And all you said is, God, if God did it for me, he can do it for you. I want to get up out of this bed, but I've been here so long. All I know is this bed of affliction. All I know is these problems. When I get in the jail, this is what I do. When I need to solve a problem, I just lay down in this situation. I just lay down in this less than, this low bar state. And now I'm pinned to it. And it's pinned to me. And if I get anywhere, it's because you take me. So if you can be a good friend, if you can be a good friend to me, can you take me somewhere where somebody can help me? Can you take me somewhere where somebody can help me get up out of my situation and grow beyond what I've become used to? Can you help me get a new normal? That's what it said in my Bible, and I think that's what it said in your Bible. So he's sitting there and said, y'all can pick me up, and if y'all don't mind taking me. And they said, man, no, we're going to take you because Jesus been healing people and Jesus been delivering, and we believe, and don't say it, but we believe if he did it once, he can do it again. And we believe that if he can rescue one person, he can rescue you. And we believe that if he can work out my situation, he can work out your situation. And I believe that if he can come through and turn the situation around to where it looks like I had never been there, I believe he can do it for you. So they went and they both, all four of them, picked up one end of his bed. And like I said, he was dead weight, y'all. So they had to carry him from their home to where Jesus was in Capernaum. And he wasn't next door, because some of us will walk with you a block. I'll walk with you a block, but you start getting on my nerve. I may not walk with you a second one. Some of us will walk with you. I'll walk with you maybe a mile. I'll toil with you. Give me a week. I'll toil with you a week. I may toil with you 6 weeks. I may toil with you 7. I may toil with you a month. But you start teetering on years of toiling, years of going back and forth, and I still got it. You still in this same state. I don't know how much longer I'm going to toil with you.
That's true.
That's how we get.
That's true.
But this man's mind was made up. I imagine he had some time to think about what was going on. I imagine he had some time to meditate on his life's decision. I imagine he had some time to sit there and his friends are talking to them and they're helping him and they're trying to reason with him about being his best self and becoming his best self. And so they go ahead and they pick him up because he agrees to be picked up. He agrees to go somewhere else. He agrees, although he's in his state, at least change my scenery. If you're in a state of depression, don't listen to sad songs, y'all. Change your scenery. Find something lively to listen to. Find something praiseworthy to listen to. That's why the Bible says, think on these things that are just, that are pure, that are praiseworthy, that are a good report. If you feel yourself pulling away and like, I can't take this no more, think about what you're thinking about and start thinking about things that are uplifting. Think about things that are worthy of giving God praise. Think about things that make you smile. It's okay to smile in the middle of a situation. It may not change the situation, but it'll change how and they walking. And they walking, well, man, come on. And it's not paved streets like we know paved streets, y'all. So they walking on dirt roads, and some of them are padded down really good. But I imagine some of them could have a little rock or something they got to get out the way of. Or something can have some debris that they got to move out the way of as they're carrying this man to get to Jesus. Yeah. So they go. And afar off, they see the house. Man, somebody done told everybody that Jesus is here. Yes. How are we going to get him in the house? Man, don't worry about it. Keep your faith. Hold on. How you going to get your deliverance? Don't worry about it. I don't know how the problem is going to be answered. Don't worry about it. Keep walking. It looks like everybody's getting blessed but me. Don't worry about it. Keep walking. Keep holding on. It looks like everybody's being delivered but me. Don't worry. It looks like everybody's baby is going through and doing things that they should be doing and my baby's not. Don't worry about it. Keep holding on. It looks like everybody's bills is paid but mine, and I'm the only one broke in the circle. Don't worry about it. Keep holding on. And so they hold on and they keep walking toward the house. And they can see when they get up to the house, it is jam-packed. They can walk around the house. They went to the door. Man, hey, is there any way that if I pack my friend, can you tap the people up there and ask them, if I lift my friend up, can y'all push my friend so he can get to Jesus? And I can imagine them, church folk, y'all. I've been waiting here for my seat. I bought my ticket. Y'all should have been here. I don't know why you ain't here yet. Now, I ain't going to be able to lift him up. He too heavy. I can't lift him up. He don't look like us. He ain't dressed like us. You need to tell me you want him to come into the church so he can see Jesus? Does he even pray? Does he even know? We don't do that in our church. We don't dress like that in my church. In my church, we come with dignity. And you bringing this man with a sickness, and this man got a bed, and then they saying, well, I thought Jesus was a doctor. No, he's a doctor. You don't know. You may not know who you listening to. That's a problem. And then go over to the window and say, my man, is there any way you? Man, what? Jesus talking? What you mean? My man, my friend, he's sick, and he's been sick a long time, and is there any way that if you can just push him in, and y'all just let him go in so Jesus can see him and Jesus can heal him? Man, ain't no room in here for him. Everybody else is in here because we listening to Jesus, but we don't have room in here for anybody to be set free and delivered. That's not what we're here for. I don't know what you're going to do, but ain't no room, and I can't get in any closer than I'm getting in, so your friend can't get in any further than I have gone. So no, I'm not moving out the way so your friend can be delivered. Do you hear him? Do you hear him? Do you hear him? The man was outside of the house asking to get in, laying on his bed, hoping someone would have compassion, laying on his bed, hoping somebody would look down and see him in his state and not identify him as his state, but identify him of having opportunity to be something greater than what they see him being. That's what they were hoping for. Does anybody have compassion? Man, I thought Jesus, they hold the man. Man, I thought Jesus was love. And I thought that his followers would be followers of love. And I thought they would be compassionate people. And I thought that they would, at least if you in the middle and you close to Jesus, at least some of that Jesus should rub off on you. And you can take that Jesus and rub off on somebody else. And by a simple contact, y'all know about contact. Some of you know about contact a little deeper than you should know about contact. You know about contact. God has a spiritual contact. If you in the middle with Jesus and you in his surrounding and you touching up on him and you're in his presence, you should get a spiritual contact. You should then be able to take that spiritual contact and go ahead and spread that all around. But the people in the house wouldn't get spiritually connected to God. What they were doing is having tickling ears. What they were doing is getting a high on what he was saying. What they were doing was getting excited about how eloquent he spoke, but not getting excited about the deliverance that he could provide.
All right. Thank you, Jesus.
So they sitting there. Man, when he came all this way, and he's heavy. What we gonna do? And they look, and the way the houses are built, they're not brick as we know brick. But just think of a regular house built with brick. Has one door, the door to come in and the door to come out. There's no back door. There's one door in. That's a biblical theme all in of itself.
All right.
So there's one way in. And so the people, they just sitting there and they got their brother, their friend that they've been with the whole time. Their brother, their friend that they've been encouraging the whole time. You can make it. Hold on. Don't give up, man. There's a way that God is going to work it out. It's going to blow your mind and our mind. You can make it. There's nothing that God will not do. God will not leave you going through the situation. You can make it. You can make it. You can make it. And then they get an aha moment. They get a Jesus moment. And on the side of the house, there are stairs that are going up to the roof of the house. And I say, are you thinking what I'm thinking? what you're thinking. We're going to go up the stairs on top of the roof, and then we're going to figure it out. Because these people ain't thought about going up on the roof. These people are not diligently seeking him. These people are just trying to get in where they fit in, but they're not trying to get any type of deliverance for real, for real. So what they do is they say, okay, man, okay, this is what we're going to do. Now imagine it's a dusty road. I imagine that they're tired, that they're parched. I imagine that they're kind of getting weary, but they still got faith, and they're working what they believe. So they pick the man up.
Yeah.
And then you look, and the stairs are not like our stairs, y'all. Some of our stairs are 5 feet wide. These stairs, these are not those type of stairs. These are sturdy, made out of stone and mud stairs.
Yeah.
So you got 2 people at his head or 2 people at his feet lifting him up to carry him up these sturdy, narrow stairs. You ever been in some sturdy, narrow, steep stairs? And now they got dead weight, and they got a man that they can't drop. It's not the same as dropping groceries, y'all. It's not the same as dropping something that you hope you don't break. This man is already paralyzed. We don't need to drop him on the way to giving him to Jesus. That is a revelation for some of us. If we're going to help somebody, if we're going to be in their lives to be encouragement to them, you don't need to bop them upside their head while you encouraging them. You don't need to tell them how bad they are while you encouraging them. You don't need to tell them, I wish you would get it together. They trying all they know to do to get it together. You just make sure they get to Jesus. So they pick the man up. All right, y'all, 1, 2, 3. And they pick him up. And they said, well, you gonna do the stairs, I'm gonna do the stairs, because either way, we gotta carry this dead weight. And so they begin to go up the stairs, and the stairs is narrow, y'all. So they say, okay, well, lift him up this way. Well, man, you gotta be, yeah, hold on, man, I gotta get my feet. Y'all can move some furniture. Anybody move any furniture, any heavy boxes? And you gotta make sure you get your footing just right so you don't slip and break the entertainment center, or you don't drop the TV, or you don't drop the perishables or anything like that. So they picking a man up, man, hold on, wait a minute, lift. All right, 1, 2, 3, lift, and they lift him up. And then they begin to go up the stairs, and I imagine it's so tight, so somebody's getting scraped on the back of the wall of the stair because they're trying to make sure that they don't drop the very precious package that they're trying to get to Jesus. So they're going up the stairs and man, okay, hold on, one more step, 1. All right, you got it. Yeah, let me get my grip. Hold on, my hands are sweating. I don't want to drop him because he's precious to the Lord. And so they said, I gotta hold on one more time. Go up the step one more time, 1. And they go up the step one more time, and they go up however many steps is necessary, but it was more than 1, and it was less than 50. How about does that work for you? It was a lot of steps that they had to do to carry this man on the top of the roof.
Yes.
So they get to the top of the roof, and they sit in there. It's in your Bible, just look at it. It's in there, I read it. I told you the versions I read, it's in there. And so they at the top of the roof, and they looking, okay. Well, you brought the rope, I got the rope. We got the vine tied together because we don't want to drop him. That's not going to look good for Jesus if we drop him on his head, okay. So they then say, okay, how are we going to get him in? Man, whose house is this? Man, I know Jesus moved here. I don't know if he's staying with anybody. You got any money on the rent? You got any money? We turn these people's house up. Man, all I got is what I made, and my wife got the rest. I don't know. We just got to figure it out. But we gotta work with what we got. Man, well, I'll put in what I got to make sure he has what he needs. Sometimes people gotta put your mouth where your faith is. You gotta work your faith. It's okay. Work your faith. Sometimes you gotta give people out of your abundance what you have. And sometimes it look like this, or you swipe it like that. Sometimes you gotta give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and rolling over shall men give into your bosom. But how do you get? You get by giving.
Yes.
So they stand on top of the house and say, man, okay, well, we fix the roof. We pay for the roof to be fixed. So they begin to peel off the pieces of the roof. Now, man, keep some of them pieces because we're going to try to patch this roof back together.
All right.
Hopefully we ain't got to spend all our money, but keep some of the pieces, keep some of them big pieces so we can patch the roof, when we get through, and Jesus do what he do with them. And so they pick the pieces up and they put the pieces to the side and put the pieces up to the side, and I can imagine some of the pieces, it's not like this, y'all, it's like clay and it's dirt and it's straw and it's stuff to get the roof up, but it's not a metal roof, it's not a steel roof, it's not sheetrock or anything of that nature. So I can imagine some of the pieces, it's starting to come down. And I can imagine light starts coming in from where they are on top of the building. And so people start looking up where they should have been looking anyway. They start looking up and saying, what is going on? Oh my God, a miracle is about to be performed. Oh my God, Jesus is about to perform a miracle. Oh my God, look, the heavens is opening up again, child. Remember I told that time when Jesus came up out the water and the heavens opened up. Girl, it's happening again. Keep looking. We're going to see firsthand what Jesus is about to do. And they look up. And here comes this man on these ropes, on this bed, being held by these ropes on his bed being lowered down,
Yes.
center stage.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to help somebody.
Yes.
Because a lot of people think you got to be fixed up,
Come on.
set free, and delivered before the Lord will use you in front of the masses. A lot of people think that before God will really use me, I got to get this just right, and I got to make sure I got that just right, and I got to get healed in here, be out here before I can actually go present myself in there. In the middle of the whole crowd, in the middle of the people that wouldn't let the man come in the middle of the people that looked down on the man because he didn't smell like they smelled, he didn't talk like they talked, he had a little bit of swag when he walked, and he moved a little bit differently than what they was used to in church, that they didn't want him in there. But in the middle of all of that, here he come walking in and going front and center stage with Jesus' presence.
Hallelujah.
Front and center stage with her mini skirt on. Front and center stage with her clear heels on. She just left from making her change, doing very strange things. But she's right here in the middle, at the front of where Jesus is, saying, I need to be delivered. I need to be healed. I can't do it by myself. I'm on my bed of affliction. When I said I was putting in my petition of what I wanted to be when I grew up, a prostitute wasn't it. When I put in my petition of what I wanted to be when I grew up, an alcoholic was not it. A drug addict was not it. A whoremonger was not it. A liar was not it. Being in poverty was not what I had on my mind when I was growing up. But somehow this bed got attached to me. I got rooted out in the situations and struggles that I grew up in, and then I got this bed, and I can't get up out the bed. And I need your help. I need deliverance. I need somebody to intercede. And I tried at the door, but they didn't want to let me in. I tried at the window, but they didn't want to let me in. I tried to talk to people, but I didn't look like them, and I didn't talk to them, I talk like them, so they shunned me. So front and center,
Yes.
here I am. Because I don't care what they think.
No.
No more.
Hallelujah.
I don't care about public opinion anymore. I need to be delivered. I need to be set free. I need to be healed. I need you to answer my prayers. I need you to bless my baby. I need you to work my situation out. You are supposed to be a problem solver. I got some problems I need you to solve. Here I am, front and center. And I need you to do what I've been hearing that you're able to do. So the man is laying there, and he's all balled up, and he's all embarrassed, and he's all ashamed. He said, hey, I've come this far. We've come this far by faith, leaning on the Lord, trusting in his holy word. And I heard him say, he's never failed me yet. I don't like that part of the song. I just like he's never failed me. Because yet implies that I'm expecting a failure to happen at some point. That's just grammar. That's just grammar. I don't see every verse, every song the way people write it, because I understand that some of us don't understand grammar. He's never failed me yet implies that he just might. He just might, but he ain't done it yet. No, he's never failed me. And I let everybody else sing me, yeah. I'm like, well, that's your testimony. He ain't never failed me.
That's right.
And I ain't looking for him to fail me.
That's right.
So he's laying there on the bed. And Jesus says, this is so funny. When Jesus saw their faith,
All
he's
right.
like, but everybody else wasn't the one to be delivered. Jesus saw their faith. The 5 of them.
Yeah.
And this reminded me, I shared this with the women's group last week, of Houdini back in 1986. I think he had the song Friends. How many of us have them?
Yes.
Friends. The ones we can depend on, let it be friends. And he started walking through what friendship really looked like. He started walking through. Friendship means I'm going to stick with you when you get on my last nerves. And I want to kick you out and kick your bed over and say, now get over and get up on your own. Friendship looks like, no, I'm going to stick with you anyway. Friendship looks a lot like similar. It's not the same. Similar to marriage. It means whether I like you or not, we in this for life. Like your literal, your inhale, exhale, like we in this for life. Friendship means that when you are going through, and I know you're going through a wrong place, and I'm trying to talk to you, and I say, well, you gone over there, but I'll be here when you get back and help you pick up the pieces. Friends will help you pick up the pieces. Friends will know and see your potential and encourage you towards the best that you can be. That's friends. How many? I know some of y'all call a lot of people friends. And we coined the frenemy thing like it's a good thing. I don't want no frenemies. If we're going to be enemies, let's be straight up enemies. If we're going to be friends, let's be straight up friends.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So when Jesus saw their faith, when I saw that, I just thought of the song, how many of us have them? Because the man couldn't move on his own. It took his friends to get him to the Lord. The man couldn't get up the stairs on his own. situation. You want to make sure you got some friends that's going to get you to Dr. Jesus. You want to make sure you got some friends that's going to make sure that they get a prayer through. Why? Because the prayers of the righteous availeth much. Hallelujah. So you want to make sure that you just, every now and again, just check. Check your surroundings.
All right.
Check who you're dealing with. Check who you're spending your time with to make sure you're with some people that have faith.
Amen. Amen.
Because Jesus saw their faith. And when he saw their faith, he saw their works.
Yes. Yes.
He saw
That's right.
their activity.
That's right.
He knew that they could not have gotten in because he had been there for a while teaching. He knew when he stepped inside the house there was not a man laying there sick. He knew he was in the middle of the house with a bunch of people that just wanted to see what he was going to do but did not want to be used by him. He knew that. So when he saw their faith, he said to the sick of palsy, "Son, thy sins be forgiven thee." And okay, then the scribe was sitting there. Why is he saying that? Why is he forgiving his sins? What's going on right here? This man is still in the bed, cracked all up, twisted all up, messed all up in the bed. And Jesus says, "Son, your sins are forgiven thee." And I said, "Lord, that don't help his situation. You forgiving my sins. Don't help me get out of debt.
All right.
You forgiving my sins. Don't mend these relationships. You forgiving my sins. Didn't fix my broken heart. You forgiving my sins. Didn't help my suicidal thoughts. You forgiving my sins. Did not work out the situation in my home. So Jesus, why didn't you heal him first and forgive his sins later? Like you kind of got this thing backwards." He said, "No, you got it backwards."
All right.
He said, "Because the Bible says, it is my will that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers." Don't get so hung up on the fact that as your soul prospers at the end of the sentence when it should be at the beginning of the sentence, because it is my will. Everybody say, "It's my will that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers." So what he's saying is, it is my will that this body lines up and is great and is awesome and in alignment with how your soul is. So if I don't get the man's soul right, it don't matter how his body is. If I don't get the man's head right, it don't matter what his body looks like. If I don't get the man's heart right, it don't matter what his body looks like. I gotta work on the real problem. I got to get to the crux of the issue. I got to get to the seed of what's going on. The man is this, the paraplegic, the palsy, that's a symptom of what he's dealing with. What he's dealing with is a sin-sick soul. You wonder why he can't help us. He touches himself and touching people that don't belong to him because he's wounded and he's sick in his soul. He's going through situations that he don't know how to get out of in his soul. He's going through mind battles in his soul. His soul is wrapped up and tied up in the enemy. His soul is wrapped up and tied up in darkness. So before I deal with the outward man that you're looking at, I've got to deal with the soul that I see. It is my will that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So the first thing I have to tell you is, baby, your sins are forgiven. Your sins are forgiven. You have not done one thing on this earth that I will not forgive. You have not said one thing on this earth that I will not forgive. And that is messing some people up. Because some people say that people can do the unforgivable. And I say, well, you don't know God. You don't know who God is.
That's right.
God can forgive the child molester. You molested a child. You stole that baby's innocence. You perverted that child. You caused them to have to struggle spiritually with things that they never should have had to encounter. But God will forgive you. And that means that we as God's children got to wrap our head around the forgiveness of King Jesus. We got to wrap our head around that God will forgive whoever he wants to forgive. God will deliver whoever he wants to deliver. God will set free whomever he wants to set free. Oh, this one killed my loved one, and that's the unforgivable. I'm sorry. He died for the murderer. He died for the murderer. Even before he died for the murderer, they set up a city of refuge for murderers. I'm sorry. There's some things that God will forgive that you may not necessarily agree with, but God is who he is because he says who he are forgiven. And that's why they were so hung up. Church people. It was Sadducees and Pharisees and teachers of the law that was questioning what Jesus was doing. That was questioning why he was forgiving. They done the unforgivable. And I can't believe that he even told the man that he had hope. He doesn't have authority to give hope. And yes, he does have authority to give hope. And he gave hope. And not only did he give him hope, but he forgave his sins because he saw that he was diligently striving to do something. What do you mean he was diligent? He was paralyzed. Well, he could have refused to go. He could have said, no, I'm comfortable exactly where I am. I don't want to do anything else. He could have shook and said, I won't see Jesus. I don't want to hear what he got to say. I'm not trying to deal with him. But he stood, he nodded and said, yes, take me to the king. Yes, take me to the somebody lay me on the altar before Jesus. Somebody intercede with me. Somebody make sure I get up out of this state because God has something greater for me and he won't just let me die in my sins. So he sits there and he talks to them about, this is why y'all messed up. Because you read the word, but you don't really digest the word.
That's true.
You don't digest it. You don't want your soul to be healed. You just want to drive in a big fancy car. You don't want your soul to be healed. You just want to have a multi-million-dollar business. You don't want your soul to be healed where you walk in love and forgiveness. You just want to go about showing people how great you are. You don't want your soul to be healed. You just want to go around showing people to look up at you and to praise you. And that's why you go through the situations that you go through. But if you truly want to have a genuine relationship with the Lord, you want this soul to prosper. Oh, that my soul may prosper. Oh, that my soul may grow. Oh, that my soul may sprout. Oh, that my soul may disengorge. Oh, that my soul, feed me, Lord, until I want no more. Feed me until my cup overflows. Feed me until I become who you want me to be. So then he looks down. So he had this whole conversation with them. And he looks down and he said, you, now I'm not talking to them anymore. You, get up, take up your bed, walk and go home. Now here again is another opportunity for the man to work his faith. Because the man can say, well, Jesus, I know you forgave my sins, but I'm comfortable doing what I do. I'm comfortable in this bed of affliction. I done got comfortable dealing how I deal. I done got comfortable going where I go. I done got comfortable in my surroundings and my situation. I kind of like, because some of the Bible talks about the pleasures of sin. Some of the stuff I kind of like doing, and the bed is a part of what I do, and if you tell me to get up, then that means I got to get up from what I'm doing. That means I got some changes I got to make in my life. It's not enough to be delivered, and it's not enough to be healed, and it's not enough for your sins to be forgiven. But if you go back doing the same thing that you was previously doing, everything becomes moot. What you have to do is say, no, I'm no longer going to do that. So he had to make a mental decision. He had to make a heart decision. And he said, you know what, as soon as Jesus said, arise, he jumped up. Now take that which used to carry you, and you carry it. Take that thing that used to hold and pin you down, and you lift that up, and you go back home. Why, Jesus, didn't you tell him to follow you? Because there's some ministry he got to do back at home. There's some reconciling he got to do back at home. There's some hope that he has to give back at home. There's some things that he got to straighten back up at home. And he got to take the man and say, look, y'all, I am truly delivered this time. I promise I won't do it again. I promise that God has saved me and delivered me. I promise that God has set me free. Look at the bed. I'm no longer laying in this bed anymore. I'm no longer being carried on by this bed anymore. But God has delivered me. God has set me free. And I'm here to reckon. I apologize for what I took you through. I apologize for how I worded you. I apologize for how I was going back and forth with you. But to God be the glory for the things he has done. So he took the bed and he goes and he runs back home and he starts telling everybody he's glorifying God. You saw me being carried, but now I can walk on my own. You saw other people paying my bills, but now I pay all my bills. You saw my children going through different situations and circumstances, but look at all my babies. All of them are healed. All of them are delivered. All of them are set free. You saw me going through in my marriage, but look at my marriage. We love each other and we are friends. You saw me going through, but look what God has done. God has worked out every situation. God has worked out every circumstance for his will and for his good. But I hear you. I hear you, and I'm wrapping up. Some of you are like, well, I don't have 4 friends to carry my bed. And I'm not really in the bed. but I come to church and I'm just, and I'm still not being treated right. And I go on my job and I'm not being treated right. And I'm being mistreated now. And I'm asking the Lord to take care of the situation because vengeance is his and he said he's going to repay. But I've been going through long and hard. And I've been going through the situation for such a long time. And I just don't know what's going to happen. Well, there was a woman that went to a king. Yeah. And your Bible says that the king was unjust. Yeah. Okay? And that the woman had been wounded severely. And she was due some justice. Yeah. And she would go to the king, we'll say weekly, she would go to the king every Sunday and say, King, oh King, avenge me of my adversaries. It's in your Bible. King, oh King, avenge me of my adversaries. And he would go and he was like, I don't know you. I don't know your adversaries. And I'm not avenge you. Go away with you. Away with you. Away with you. And she would leave. And then she would come right back. King, oh King, help me with my babies. King, oh King, help me with my financial situation. King, oh King, answer these prayers that only you can answer. King, oh King, can you help me out? Can you help a sister out? And he would dismiss it. Go on about your business. Go on about your business. And he noticed that she was diligently seeking him. She noticed that she was diligently working her faith. She was diligently coming to the one who was empowered to help her. And he said, if I don't help her, she won't leave me alone. So this unjust king said, give her whatever she wants. Just keep her away from me. The same thing and the same power that we have. We can go to the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, who is just and who is right and who is true and who is good, and say, King, oh King, avenge me of my adversaries. King, oh King, answer my prayers. King, oh King, the one who said I was worth dying for. Can you please help a sister out? Can you please help a brother out? Can you please work this situation out and watch him? Watch him deliver. Right. Watch him set free. Because he that comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder to them that diligently seek him. In Luke 18:1, he says this, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not faint, saying there was in a city which feared God, neither regarded man. And there was a widow that was in the city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me my adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he would say within himself, though I fear not God, nor regard men, yet because this widow troubleth me, I will avenge her, lest by her continually she weary me. That's what he said. She worked her faith. She kept moving forward and moving forward, even though she was rejected. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you with this. Let me go through the Hall of Fame. By faith, Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain. All right. By faith, Enoch forgot to die. He forgot to die. All right. Okay? He forgot to die and was translated from this life to the life to come. By faith, Noah, when warned of things to come, began to build an ark. By faith, Abraham, when called to go from this place and that he would later receive an inheritance, he obeyed God and went on to do great things. By faith, somebody say by faith. Abraham, when he got the promise, God asked him to sacrifice what he gave him. By faith, Abraham decided to sacrifice his son Isaac, but God saw that he was a good man and sent a ram in the bush. By faith, Sarah, way past the age of having babies, received from God the delight of her soul. By faith, Jesus went to the cross, knowing that he would be resurrected 3 days later, and he rose with all power in his hands. What am I saying with all of this? One, you got to make sure you surround yourself with some good people. You got to surround yourself with people that have faith when you don't have faith. Two, you got to make sure that you are a good person so you can surround yourself with somebody that may need your faith. Three, make sure that all of y'all work your faith together to get to the Lord, who is the author and the finisher of our faith. Make sure that you give God praise, glory, and honor as you're going towards your faith and going towards what God is answering of you. Make sure that as you move on toward the word of recovery, that you have the posture of faith. That your mouth speaks faith. That your eyes sees faith. That your ears hear faith. And make sure that you give God praise, glory, and honor when he delivers like only he can. So if you and I'll give God some praise right now.